That's how they used to do when I was growing up in church. They took care of the man of God. And if he expended too much of himself, the deacons would go get him and say, that's enough, you need to rest.
All right.
I wish I would not wear no red bottom shoes because of what they say. I wish I would not wear my finest clothes because of what they say. As a matter of fact, who are they? Who are they? I might wear some purple bottom shoes. I might wear some yellow bottom shoes. I might put on my $2,000 dress. So God can come in and move in every area. Every area. Set the stage. I thank God for allowing me to set the stage. He says, wherever you go in this season, I need you to set the stage. And he won't be calling on those that need to set the stage to be recognized. God said he's looking for some people that can set the stage in the backwoods of Africa in a tent if he needs. God needs some people that set the stage in the swamps of Louisiana on a boat if he needs. God needs some people to set the stage on the bus if he needs them to. God needs some people to set the stage on the school in the bathroom if he needs them to. I don't care where he will have me to set the stage. It could be on my job. When the opportunity presents, guess what? I'm going to set the stage. Too many people are broken. My God, too many marriages are ending in divorce. Too many people are dying with their sickness. Hallelujah. For us not to set the stage. My God, set the stage. Set the stage. Set the stage in this season. Tell you a little more about me.
All right.
Tell you about me. I'm going to talk about legacy and I'll be through. But in order to talk about what is your legacy, what kind of legacy are you leaving, I want to tell you a story about how I was raised.
All right.
All right.
In order to tell you how I was raised, I got to tell you about my mom.
Come on. Come on.
I don't know your mom.
Yeah.
So let me tell you about mine.
Yeah.
If you 40 and under, let me take you back in time.
Let's go.
Before going to school, my bed had to be made. Had to be made before I went out and played. And there were no excuses for not doing well in school. And we already knew we couldn't be caught acting a fool.
Yeah.
See, my mama did pop-ins. And she would talk to every teacher. She'd get you in front of anybody, including the preacher. Now you got one time to do what my mama said. The second time would be a knot on your head. All my mama had to do is look a certain way. Now, I don't know about yours, but my mama didn't play. She said to me, saying, I'll beat all the black off you. And I think she succeeded a time or two. She beat all the black off me. My mama meant that. I can remember sitting in the sun trying to get my collar back. When folks came to the house, we went outside to play. Wasn't no sitting around listening to every word they said. And do you remember rolling your eyes? What was that about? That's where I got on eyeglasses. Because mama knocked my eye. I thought my mama was a boxer. She hit my brother so hard, I had to cry. Her right hook broke my other brother's jaw. And if I wasn't scared of him, I would have called the law. One time only would mama make your bail. From that point on, your butt stayed in jail. And she was sure. But we all knew the deal. Wasn't no calling home, running up her phone bill. Wherever mama put her purse down, that's where it stayed. If she left money on the coffee table, that's where it laid. Now, one brother had sticky fingers, but it didn't last long. My mama beat all the sticky off his fingers till she got home. So I look at us now, and we didn't do too bad. But it's all because of the mama we had. So you can do what you do and say what you say. But if it was left up to me and I had my way, every kid would be raised like me back in the day. Raise your hand, mama. But even being raised like that didn't stop me from getting into drug addiction. See, I started doing drugs at an early age. And before long, drugs took center stage. Smoking weed at the age of 13. Headed for troubles that were unseen. Even indulged in alcohol. But I thought I was having a ball. By late teens, I was shooting dope. Sailing on a downward slope. Now don't misunderstand me. I got my education. But I lived a life of drugs and infatuation. Smoking weed, drinking, then came the pills. Just another way of getting cheap thrills. And as if that wasn't enough, then came along some new stuff. In my 20s, I learned to freebase. I like the high and I like the taste. Now freebasing cost me a whole lot of money. Spent so much, it ain't even funny. I like freebasing, but along came something better.
Come on.
It was already rocked, which was clever. I get paid on Friday and have a fat stack, only to be spent on smoking crack. Boy, the pipe did a number on me. I was messed up and in misery. But for some reason, I just couldn't stop. My life was consumed with smoking that rock. And just as I thought I had enough, along came someone else with some more stuff. For 8 long years, I smoked that pipe. And so it ain't all good. Don't believe the hype. I wanted to stop, but how could I when I was just too busy trying to get high? Drugs had become a very hot tower. I couldn't stop because I didn't have the power. The devil said I would die like this, trying to get high with a pipe in my fist. But I said to myself, hold up, this ain't no way to die. And I shouted to the devil, you are lying. December 95, one early morning hour, I began seeking a higher power. And talking to God, I said, God, take it all. The weed, the pills, the crack, and alcohol. My eyes were bucked and my mind was wired. After days of being up, my body was tired. The Lord said, my child, I will set you free. But you must commit to serving me. And I said, if that's all that I must do, this day, Lord, I choose you. The Lord kept his word and set me free from a life of drugs and misery. Now I serve the Lord by sharing my story. But I let it be known that God gets the glory. Which brings me to my next point. What kind of legacy are you leaving behind? What kind of legacy are you leaving?
That's right.
Ecologists tell us that it's best to plant a young tree in an old growth forest because the young tree grows better when it's planted in an area with older trees. It seems that the roots of the young tree are able to follow the pathways created by former trees and implant themselves more deeply. It is said that over time the roots of many trees may actually graft themselves into one another, creating an intricate, interdependent foundation hidden underground. So the stronger trees share resources with the wicker trees so that the whole forest becomes healthier. So what did I tell you about trees? Because when we look at our family and the legacies that they've left behind, we began to research our family tree. And my grandmother, Emma Grant, didn't get an opportunity to be raised with her. She died when I was 3 years old. But they would tell me stories of my granny, of how she was a woman of faith that believed in God, that trusted God. She was a woman of faith that would be on a job, see a mother come in that needed a job. She would quit her job for that young woman to have a job and go find her another job. And you know what? She never had trouble finding another job. She's a woman of faith because they told me that Granny went to the doctor and had this tumor that they needed to remove. And Granny went home over the weekend and she prayed. And she prayed, and she prayed, and she prayed. And by the time she got to the doctor Monday morning, the tumor was no longer there. So again, I'm asking you, what type of legacy are you leaving? My granny left me a spiritual legacy. And I believe that had it not been for her passing that legacy down to my mother. And my mother making us go to church all day, all night sometimes. We had to sing in the choir. We had to Bible study. If it was going on at the church, she had us there. But I believe it was that teaching of where I learned about Jesus and the blood. Can I tell you that 32 years later, the same spiritual legacy that my grandmother left is what got me off of drugs? Can I tell you that growing up in church, learning that the blood still works? Amen. I still remember it to this day, sitting on the floor in my bedroom, smoking the pipe. And when the devil told me I was going to die like that, that's when I began calling on the name of Jesus. Because the devil said in one ear, you're going to die like this. But God said in the other ear, I didn't put you here to die like this. All right. Nor to live like this. That's right. They say once you do crack, you never go back. But that's a lie. I don't never smoke crack. I don't have a desire for it. But the thing that I do now, I have a job where I help those that struggle with drug addiction. What kind of legacy are you leaving? I want to leave the same legacy that my grandmother left, that my mama taught me. A spiritual legacy. That when my son gets in trouble, he can know how to call upon the name of Jesus. That when my son needs help making a decision, he'll know that prayer works. Hallelujah. My son is a good-looking young man. Yes, he is. And I have a brother that passed away. And this brother liked to dress. You know, Mama could go to H.L. Green for us, but she had to go to Singers and Titans for him. And she would do just that. He liked to put on a good pair of shoes. And my brother was left-handed. My son is left-handed. My son liked to dress. My son liked to put on a good pair of shoes. My brother was good with children. My son is good with babies and children. So I just attribute that to God giving me a piece of my brother back. But I need my son to know when he put on a good pair of shoes, that ain't good enough for him to walk up into heaven. So it's going to take a little bit more than that. When he put on that fine suit, it's going to take more than that to get up into heaven. My son plays in the church. I'm so grateful he's here with his mama today. He played for New Leaf in Pleasant Grove. But he's here to support me today. But I need him to know to beat them drums. He can't beat them on up into heaven. It's going to take a little more than that. What kind of legacy are you leaving? You know, it's a shame to see generation after generation of alcoholics, drug addicts. Generation after generation with their pants hanging off their butt. Generation after generation sitting on the couch playing videos. Generation after generation that are abusive. Generation after generation that's doing nothing. And we can put it all on the kids. Come on! I hate to tell you, but some of it is our fault. When you find a kid that don't respect his parents in the house.
All right.
Thank you.
Don't expect him to respect the teachers in the schoolhouse.
Right.
He's not going to respect authority on his job.
Right.
When did we get scared of our kids?
Right.
I look up to my son.
All right.
But now he ain't so tall that mama won't chop him down. He ain't that tall.